whatever path you are on, whatever inspired you to come here today, we honor you and we welcome you. And now, our message.
Before we begin the message for the day, do an evocation. This is kind of a centering, a grounding, becoming present, becoming aware. So take a moment and close your eyes and relax into the moment, remembering that song, knowing that you are in a very safe, a very sacred place right now. That this place called heaven resides within your very being. It is who you are. It is the source of everything. It is divine intelligence. It is ultimate reality. It is spirit, your soul, God, whatever it is you choose to call it. There it is. And here today we come and we gather with family, with people of like mind. We join together to know that we are one, that we are loved, that we are lovable, that we are loving. So we open up to this awareness. We open up to the willingness to see and to learn and to grow. Today, we have come here to be that. Whether it be in the message, or you get a word that just moves you to where you need to be. In speaking with a friend afterwards, or something in the music you hear today. It's why you're here. So be awake, be aware, and be the love you are. And so it is.
So it is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yay. I'm not squeaking or coughing. Not yet, anyway. So here we are in our second week here at the YCC. And my name's Reverend Allie Benjamin. It's really nice to see everyone and to be here. And I was thinking when Lyle was doing his evocation and just grounding us into this moment, I was thinking about all of the people that showed up early today to help. So I want to acknowledge everyone, all of you team leaders, Julie with the greeting. Where are you? Where's Julie? Stand up, there she is. Thank you so much. And for those greeters that came, we're building all of our teams so we can have this beautiful flow going on Sundays. We also have Carol and Alan and Kimmy that organize all of our snacks and the information table. So just stand up a minute, let us just give you some love. And then we've also got Kelly, who does the sound, still working on a few bugs. Thank you so much. Kelly's also filming and recording these messages. So we do that. And we offer these recordings on our website. We offer them on Facebook. So if you do miss a Sunday, you can always go to one of those websites to check it out. And also for Lindy and Lacey, I knew you thought you'd get away, but they set up our beautiful little stage up here, so thank you so much. And it really takes all of us, so if you're in this room, you're all part of the volunteers that help make this Sunday so special, so thank you. And thanks to Sherry, she's back there with the kids. And who else is working with the children today? Just Sherry?
Mark.
Okay, yeah, see, it takes a whole crew. So if you would like to help, we need your help. We would love to have your help. So if you have an area of expertise where you can bring that light into expression, we fully support and encourage that. There are some amazing ways to join with like-minded people, so get involved. Please join us. So I'd like everyone to stand up and get hold of your program. For the month of January, we're sort of getting back to basics. I'd like you to find the front of the program, and on that is our mission and vision statement. I'd like to read that together. Our purpose is to inspire and foster spiritual expansion by allowing and embracing a loving, trans-denominational community. Our mission is to empower each other through teaching, healing, and serving for the highest good of all. Our vision is to remain open to all possibilities and the eternal awakening of our conscious awareness. So take a moment and give each person that you capture their attention, give them a namaste blessing, which is the divinity in me bows to the divinity in you. Or give them a high five or a hug, or just say you're glad that they're good. So I'd also like to send out another blessing. And this is something that we used to do all the time, and we kind of got away from it, but it feels so good to be seen, to be recognized. So I want everyone to just extend your hands, and we've all heard the idea that we live in an energetic universe. So imagine the energy of love pouring through your hands right now, and just repeat these words after me. And you can direct this attention towards anyone you want. So you can pick and choose. Or to yourself. We recognize you.
We recognize you.
We see who you really are.
We see who you really are.
You are the spiritual image and likeness of God.
You are the spiritual image and likeness of God.
You are a unique way that love, intelligence, and divine beauty are happening on this planet.
You are a way that love, intelligence, and divine beauty are happening on this planet.
That was good. Today we celebrate your life.
Today we celebrate your life.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
And we thank God for you.
And we thank God for you.
Welcome to the Satya Center.
Welcome to the Satya Center.
I love who's speaking that. That's good. Keep doing it. Okay. We see you. We know who you really are. So, now the month of January in Centers for Spiritual Living, or Science of Mind centers, we put a focus on the basic principles of metaphysics. We go through the first 4 chapters of the book called The Science of Mind. We don't do this. This is the only month that we actually do this. So this is the Science of Mind textbook, written by Ernest Holmes. And he authored this book in the 20s, in the 1920s. Wow, just in a few years we'll be saying, in the 1920s. We can't just refer to them as the 20s, because we'll be in the 20s, and that won't be sensible. So last week we talked about the thing itself. The thing itself. And what he's referring to is G-O-D, God. And last week I talked about God as being good, orderly direction. We know that we're in alignment with the divine or all that is or spirit or God when we're moving in that divine flow. And there feels like there's real good orderly direction in our lives. Has anyone been in that zone? Been in that flow? Have felt that? It feels good to be in that zone. A lot of athletes feel that when they're practicing their sport. And some of you will get to experience that this afternoon as you're watching all those football games that I keep hearing about, keep trying not to hear about. But there's a certain zone people get into, not just athletes, artists. I paint. I know I'm in that zone. Musicians, when they're playing their music, they get in that zone and there's a good orderly direction happening, right? There's something, a natural flow that's taking place that feels so good. That's God. That's you feeling your absolute authentic power within you. That's God. That's the divinity that he's talking about in this first chapter, the thing itself. Some people say, well, the thing itself, that doesn't sound very reverential. There's a lot of names for God. In our Judeo-Christian culture, we refer to it as God, but in other traditions, there's other words. Atman, Krishna, all that is, the great unknown, the great unknowable, the I am. You get the gist. There's lots of names that we've given this good orderly direction. This love, beauty. We see it when we're in nature. We feel at one with it when we're in nature. So we talked about the thing itself, and we talked about the fact that this energy, this power, this love, this feeling is within each of us. And we can tap into that at will. We can turn within and find that spark, that spirit, that essence to who we are. And really that's what we teach here at the Sati Center. That's what we study. That there is a power there's a power in the universe greater than you. And you can use it. And you use it by focusing your attention on what you want. Lyle talked about expectation and desire. When we tap into, when we're still enough, and we tap into that desire within us, whatever it may be, a desire to work at a certain vocation, a desire to sing or dance, a desire to have a conversation, we're tapping into that thing within us that we can then direct and use to have a greater expression of that. Each one of us is responsible for tapping into that power, tapping into that source, tapping into our divinity, so that we can express it out into the world. And it's usually attached to those things that we desire. That's how we show up as the hands of God serving, the voice of God speaking, the heart of God loving, when we're in alignment with our true self. So the thing itself was week 1, and this week the name of my talk is The Way You Work It. The Way You Work It. And the chapter title is called The Way It Works. So how does it work? It works by you believing that you have access to a power greater than your little mind. That you have access to the infinite mind. You have access to a realm of pure potentialities and possibilities. That not one of us is limited by our current paradigm, unless you choose to be. That we can actually tap into and expand our paradigm or our situation or our reality or our health. We can change any area of our lives by tapping into the idea that it exists. We don't have to stay limited by our current idea of what is and how it is. So, in the introduction to the science of mind, Jean Houston wrote it. She says this: "For the first time in human history, we are required as a species to extend ourselves into radically new ways of being." Does anyone align with that? Are you feeling that you're being called to extend yourself, to express yourself, to expand yourself, to move beyond the current race consciousness? Yeah? The tasks that are now ours, the tasks of virtual creation, compel the revolution in consciousness that tells us that we are part of the great unfolding of spirit in flesh. We are part of the great unfolding of spirit in flesh. That says to me that we are the way that God is evolving itself through us. It's not happening somewhere else. It's happening everywhere, and it's happening through us, each of us. She goes on to say, these are the times. We are the people. This is the teaching. The science of mind and spirit can help us do it. So this is the book that can help us do it. Now, this has been an amazing path. This is the path that I came into metaphysics through. There are many paths. There are many paths. But I find this one very in alignment with my thoughts, my philosophies. But it really opens up into many paths. So whatever path you're coming in through, know that this can enhance if you decide. So I'd like to read the first paragraph of this, the way it works, so that you can know how to work it. The science of mind is not a special revelation of any individual. It is, rather, the culmination of all revelations. We take the good wherever we find it, making it our own insofar as we understand it. The realization that good is universal, and that as much good as any individual is able to incorporate in his life is his to use, is what constitutes the science of mind and spirit. We have discussed the nature of the thing as being universal energy, mind, intelligence, spirit, finding conscious and individualized centers of expression through us. And that man and woman's intelligence is this universal mind, functioning at the level of man's concept of it. This is the essence of the whole teaching. The essence of the whole teaching is that each of us is a center for this energy to flow through. And as we become aware of that, we can utilize it to affect our lives, to actually become conscious co-creators in our lives. Instead of living by default, we step up and live by design. We live by design, by choosing the thoughts that we think, by choosing the situations that we put ourselves in, by choosing to make decisions that align with our heart's longings. That's not always so easy, is it? To make decisions that align with our heart's longings, because we're affected by what's going on around us. So this spiritual path, this staying in alignment with your true essence, takes some courage. It takes some discipline. Because we're surrounded with situations and people that maybe don't support this kind of thinking, that maybe stay in a more victim consciousness, that maybe have a tendency to look at what's wrong in the world, that maybe have a tendency to watch the constantly negative news and talk about it all the time. So we're surrounded by a lot of other influences in our world that can influence the way that we behave. So it takes courage and it takes discipline to listen to that still small voice within. It takes courage to say no sometimes. And it takes courage to say yes sometimes. But if I know that I'll speak for myself, that if my actions and my words and my thoughts and how I feel, that if all of that lines up, then I'm experiencing my highest self and my God self. And then I feel like I'm in that good orderly direction. So we're each responsible to work it in that way. That's the way each of us work this amazing power, through our focus of attention, of saying yes when we mean yes and no when we mean no, of uncovering what our heart's desires so that we can experience the full miracle that life is. Because each of us was born to be happy. Each of us was born to be prosperous. Each of us was born to be creative. Each of us, and Ernest Holmes says this in the way it works, is here to be the gift. We are the divine in human form. Each of us radically unique, individuated expressions of the divine, here to serve the continuous evolution of human consciousness. How do you do that? You do that by doing what you love and bringing forth your light. And each of us have a different way of doing that. Can you imagine if everyone in this room and everyone that you know in your own lives, your family and your friends, if each of those people actually stood in their own authentic power and shined their light in an amazing, magnificent, one-of-a-kind way, can you imagine the ripple out of change, the ripple out of love, the ripple out of energy that would happen? That's what Gandhi meant by be the change you wish to see in the world. All of the ancient wisdom has pointed to this. There's no God out there that isn't already in here. And we can't see the God out there unless we see and feel and live our divinity in here. That's how it works in this reciprocal universe. In this universe that is always responding to our vibration. We have to be it to see it. We have to be happy. We have to be peaceful. We have to be helpful. We have to be generous. In order to experience that from everyone else and everything else, we have to do it first. So that's the good news that we celebrate here all week long, all month long, all the time, is understanding that the responsibility lies within each of us to tap into that power, that presence, and bring it forth. Let me get back to my notes, just in case. So the way it works is to know that in the universe, in the universal scheme of things, there's three aspects to this amazing thing, this God thing, this spirit that we're all living, moving, and having our being in. There's the spark of life, there's the conscious mind, there's intelligence, there's wisdom, there's the absolute, there's first cause, there's spirit. And then there's the laws that uphold this universe. And then there's the actual physical universe that we experience, that we're a part of. Spirit, mind, and body. So, in essence, we live in a threefold experience. We live in a spiritual world, we live in an orderly world, and we live in a physical world. So just like that universal idea of the divine. We can personalize that. We can look at our own lives and look at ourselves and how we are the microcosm of that macrocosm. We're the microcosm. We also have a physical body. We also have a spirit within us, a spark, an innate wisdom. And we also have a mind. And our mind is our law. So whatever we're thinking about becomes our law, becomes our reality. So what are your predominant thoughts? What do you think about the most? Well, you can actually tell by looking at your life. Because your life is an outpicturing of your thoughts. Do you like it? Do you like that? Do you like what you've created? Because you've created this. Each of us tap into that mind. We have that, the access of the mind. We tap into the universal mind. It is all one. We are in the small what the universe or God is in the large. And we use our own abilities to think and focus our attention to tap into the infinite realm of the divine mind, the mind of spirit. And the divine mind, the mind of spirit, the Lord just says yes. It just says yes to our thinking, to our thoughts. Always. That aspect of the divine, that aspect of God doesn't pick and choose, doesn't answer some prayers and not others. It just always says yes to whatever you're asking. And every thought is a wish. Every thought is a prayer. Every thought is a silent prayer that the universe just responds to with a big yes. That's why it's so important to understand this philosophy that you can change your thinking and change your life. So how easy is it to stay on the affirmative side of life? I take those chuckles as it's very easy. So how easy, how tempting is it to flow to the negative side? So that's just where we notice. When we seem to be feeling negativity, when we seem to be focusing on something that we don't like, we just stop. We just stop. And simply, one good way of bringing your attention out of that is just to notice what's wonderful around you, what's good around you, what those people that you call family or friends are doing that you appreciate, and share with them what you appreciate. We can always move from the negative to the positive. That's our choice. That's our choice. So become comfortable with being positive. Can you become comfortable with being positive? Yeah? Yeah? Good. So, I could go on, but I won't. Because I look over at the clock and I'm like, So I encourage you, each of you, to take this simple teaching that you have the power within you to direct it in any direction you want. So focus on what feels good. Focus on what turns you on. Focus on what lifts you up, because that's an indication that it's going to lift everything else up, because we are all connected to everything else. And what happens in here affects everything out there. So be the change. Namaste. So let's go within and close our eyes and take a breath and simply know that right here and right now there is only one thing happening. It's this thing called life. It's this thing called God. It's this thing called love, beauty. And as I open up my heart, and as I open up my mind, I feel it coursing through my body, this life force energy, this amazing one power, one presence that's happening in all sentient beings. Quantum physicists say that our attention to something creates change. So let's focus our attention on the divinity within all beings right now. Taking a breath. So as we unite in this one energy, this one love, I speak my word for each of us here. I speak my word for love and love's expression in your life, in my life. I speak my word for miracles abounding in all of creation. I see life as a miracle and give great thanks for it. I know and accept for each of us that every step along our path this week is supported by wisdom and love, is supported by the divine flow of well-being that uplifts our minds and our hearts, that harmonizes each and every cell in our body. I know and accept for each of us that anything that is blocking our flow of well-being and good is now released. Let's just release that now. Letting go of doubt, letting go of uncertainty, letting go of fear and judgment. And as you release, you make room for more love, more light. And it's in this expanded field of love and light that I send out this blessing. May all beings without exception experience strength and health and power. And I send this out to the far reaches of beyond. May all beings without exception experience kindness, loving kindness, creativity, and divine flow and well-being. And may all beings without exception experience living and loving with ease. As I release these words, this prayer, I know it's already so. So let us say together, thank you, and
So
it is.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence today and being a part of the Satya Center. You're invited to join Reverend Ali and Reverend Lyle each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for your dose of connection, inspiration, and co-creation. The Satya Center is located at 795 24th Street, Ogden, Utah. For directions, a map, and our service times, please see our website, thesatyacenter.org. This program was brought to you by the kind donations from the members of the Satya Center. Thank you.